mistletoe. I'm gonna get to know you better this Christmas. And as I trim the tree, how much fun it's gonna be together. This Christmas, the fireside is blazing bright, and we're caroling through the night. And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Presents and cards are here. My world is filled with cheer and you, babe. This Christmas, and as I look around, your eyes outshine the town they do. This Christmas, the fireside is blazing bright, and we're caroling through the night. And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Shake a hand, shake a hand, shake a hand. Christmas for me.
Y'all know what that means. Y'all know what that means. The holidays are upon us. The holidays are upon us. So, with that being said, uh, we welcome you to another experience of Alkebulan Inspirational Sundays, where we seek to inspire you to give God even a higher praise than you did yesterday. And yesterday doesn't mean, as in Saturday. I mean yesterday as in a few minutes ago. Every minute we live, we want to figure out how to give God a even more and more higher praise. And that's what we work on here. And we're here in the season of Advent. And the Advent is the beginning of the holiday season for us. And Advent is the 4 Sundays before church, and it is the season of expectancy, right? So I said, you know what? Let me get ready for the holidays. Let me get. We were in the middle of our sermon series, which is the coming of the co-creator, because we're in our expectancy season and focusing on our expectancy spirit. And I know when Ayan came home, she was like, Daddy, you didn't even decorate. You didn't decorate. Well, you know what? Normally, I am the lights. You know what I'm saying? I'm the everlasting tree. I'm the light that's going to light up the world. I'm the decoration of the house. I'm Christmas season decoration. Excuse my head get cut off. I'm the Christmas season decoration. But then I said, you know what? I'm going to make sure if I don't decorate physically, I'm going to definitely decorate virtually. I'm definitely going to decorate virtually. Now, before we get on, we want to make sure, let me get my mouth straight. We want to make sure that if you're watching us on Facebook, you like, you comment, you share. Like, comment, and share. It's how we reach out to one another. It's how we talk to one another. It's how we engage one another in this platform of technology. Now, in the middle of the holidays, that's even more important than it's ever been, because the holidays during COVID, whoa, how many people are, who, when first COVID first started, we were just getting to the holidays, coming out of the holidays. Now it's been the full year, and we going in that second season of Christmas during COVID. And so let us find a way to reach out to one another. So if you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead, click subscribe, click the bell, so that way when we are live streaming, you are not left out in the know, because we have been streaming on a more consistent basis, and that's going to increase. So we want to make sure that we are here and we're doing our community service outreach. And if somebody needs to hear somebody say a good word, or listen to a good lesson, or even just be a part of a community coming together, please invite them. All right. And so now we also want to make sure that we not only do we support those, but go ahead and take a look at our World of Akibaland website. All right. I'm going to set this up. Hold on. Yep. Let's go to the house. And I don't know how many of you actually went to the website and took a look at it, but just to let you know, boom, spiritually grounding our youth helps them strengthen their faith and relationship with God and each other. I might change that to and each other. We here at World of Akibaland, right? We create a Afrocentric view on history, and an Afrocentric charge to a charged environment gives our youth a stronger sense of self and understanding on how to truly fit in the greatest scheme of life today, as well as how we fit yesterday. Our history is important. We're going to talk about that too in a few seconds. But we want to also let you know that World of Akibaland, it's an academic supportive environment that prepares them to match their skill set with the needs of society in which they live. So as society changes, the type of education changes. We have definitely increased the awareness of technology, and we're increasing it even more, even more, and even more, so that when they, whether you 10, you 12, you 15, you 18, you feel like you can embrace the world in which you live in, because that's how we're going to make sure that you are able to function in life today. And World of Akibaland as an experience as a social and interactive environment prepares our children to communicate with their communicating skills and engage in a digital age phenomena of a borderless social media, meaning we can bind Black kids, Black youth, Black parents, Black people together under the same umbrella, which is the World of Akibaland. All right. We want to make sure that go ahead and take a look at the website, click on something. It just might lead you somewhere. Read something. It might just inspire you. Yes, we are always coming together as a program, always increasing the program. My next moves are to add some of the pages where you can see all the history of all the lessons that we're teaching online right now. We want to make sure also that not only do you take a look at the website, but make sure you're tuning in to be a part of all of our programs. All right. So we have the African Speaks on Tuesday night. We have Roots and Culture on Saturday was Tuesday night at 7. We have Roots and Culture on Saturdays at 1. We have Keebaland Sunday, or Keebaland Inspirational Sundays, which is, today at noon on Sundays. We have Afro Stream. We're going to add the date to Afro Stream. It's we're going to do it Thursdays at 6. And if something hits the news that's real important, we're going to be that's our what immediate impromptu. So you might also get an impromptu. So that's why it's always good to be connected to the YouTube station, because if we have something that's urgent that we want to talk about or express or get you to know, we want you to be in the know. And then we have African spirituality class, which is also on Saturdays, and that starts at 2 o'clock. Right. So the African history class is anywhere between 1 and 1:30, 2 o'clock, and African spirituality classes back to back, because it is important to understand the spiritual energy in which governed our people to create the beautiful things that we create. So we want to make sure. And just to let you know, we are in the process of creating the online classroom experience in all segments except for uh Marcus Garvey games, and we're going to be doing a Marcus Garvey games very very soon. But yes, and we got some big changes for next year, so y'all stay tuned. We growing, we really growing. Um, and so we're going to send out the emails today to the community. If you're looking to be a part of the inside conversations, right? Because we just don't want it to be one sided. We want it to be an inside conversation. So behind me will be a Zoom call. I'm going to pull a Zoom call inside the production software. So as I give the presentations, you'll see the presentations as graphically as we always see the presentations, and then we'll have the discussion. So yes, um, Keebaland Inspirational Sundays is open for the youth to participate physically via virtual until we are actually going back into the building. So I'll be sending those emails out if you want to be a part of that, adults and children alike, because I have some grandparents who said we need some grandparent wisdom on children's church. And so we're about to make that happen too. So I'm going to invite some people to come in and speak with us as we do this. Now, of course, we want you to know that everything that we do and everything that we talk about and build is based off an ancient covenant promise that we have with God. It's always based off an ancient covenant promise that we have with God. We share a sacred trust with God. Means this is as sacred in the relationship as possible. You can't get no higher than this sacred trust that we have with God. We have it with our ancestors. We have a sacred trust with each other. And we have a sacred trust with those who will come after us. Those generations who are not even here yet, or some generations, wait, Bonte, she just brought two more, so they coming right behind us. We share sacred trust with the children. Tanu had a baby, Laredo had a baby, and so we share sacred trust with those who have gone before and with those who will come after. We share sacred trust with one another, and it's special because we want to make sure that we understand that every time we're dealing with that, we're talking about our relationship with God. That covenant promise that we have a relationship with ourselves and a relationship with God. God said, if you want to show that you have a relationship with me, show me that you have a relationship with each other. It's how we treat each other that makes the covenant work. I will be your God if you will be my people. Love your God with all your heart, mind, and strength, and your brother as yourself. Those are the rules. Those are the golden rules. We want to make sure that we do that. Now, for last week, and so we always wait. Yeah, wait, something I think I didn't uncheck something. Nope, I did. Okay, there we go. So last week we started our Advent season. Wait, the coming of the co-creator series, a look in the mirror, and so we know that Advent is the season of expectancy. So that's the season, and we said expectancy is the atmosphere for miracles. Expectancy is the atmosphere for miracles, meaning, and we already know what the everyday miracle is, right? We've talked about that. Please tell me you've been listening. We talked about what is the everyday miracle. And I'm going to remind you, if you didn't know, you are the everyday miracle. And so, as we prepare ourselves for Christmas, we're preparing ourselves to know even more about the God that is in us and the God that is outside of us, our relationship to that God, and our ability to access that God power to do great things. Yes, we said if we want change in the world and the world to be better, the first place we have to look is in ourselves, it's in the mirror. And so God said, look, these are the things I created you to create with me. He said, I know your beginning and I know your end. God knows your beginning and he knows your end. You write the middle. You are the narrator of your life story. If you ever hear those stories and somebody's talking and you hear that talking and the person they're living the story and their voice changes and they're talking, you're the voice that is talking in your life story. We are here to guide you to become a great co-creator with God, doing wonderful and marvelous things in your life. And so when I asked you, why do you believe we celebrate or give you gifts? Because for us as parents, or not even as parents, because it's just us as givers, we're seeing ourselves as with the love of the creator, and we're offering love. It's a love offering, as well as a feeling of hope and expectancy that you will wake up on Christmas Day and know the light that is in you even more, and allowing it to shine through all things. And so that's why we say we're expecting you to look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and see what God has for you. Now, and so we're going to go from there. Let me go back down here to part 2 of this series, which is the coming of the co-creator, part 2. What? Into the mind of the heart. That's the title. You're like, what? Into the mind of the heart. Now, people say, well, wait a minute. And when I was telling someone, about the topic, and they was asking me, well, what do you mean by into the mind of the heart? What does that mean? I said, well, there you have two minds. And I'm going to fortify this conversation with the scripture, right? Psalms 23:7. For as he thinks in his heart, so he is. Mm. As he thinks in his heart, so he is. What you mean thinks in his heart? You think in your head. Well, you actually think in two places. Here we go. You think with the issue of information from here, right? Here, from that's the information that we give you. We give you information, you process it in your brain. But then there's a circumstance or a situation where it goes from your brain into your heart, where and they said, you ever heard the phrase, you got to know what's in your heart, or follow your heart, meaning your heart talks, your heart speaks, your heart thinks, your heart hopes, your heart believes. Your heart is where your faith is, not in your head. It's in your heart. And so you have two minds. That mind that processes data, and then that mind that internalizes data. And when I say internalize, it means it becomes a part of who you are. Mm. And so when we talk about it, we say, how much more can you believe in you? How much more can you believe in the God in you? How much more can you believe in the God in someone else? How much more can you have faith that you have the abilities to be able to change things? And that's where we talk about dealing with things from your heart, because we're always expressing life through our hearts. How much more? Not in your mind. How much more in your heart? So when we are communing with God, conversating with God, or talking with God, when we're in meditation, that is not always in our minds, that it's in our heart when you speak from something that you desire. That comes from your heart. Why do you desire it? Not because it's here. When you want something, yeah, that might be a mental thought. But when you need something, like I need oxygen, I know that in my heart. I need water, I know that in my heart. I need love, I know that in my heart. I need passion, I know that in my heart. I need understanding, I need that in my heart. I need to have a sense of belonging, I need that in my heart. I know that right here. That's what I know without a shadow of a doubt, and you can't take it away. I need it, and I know what I need. I know that I can, oh, in terms of who I am and what I can do. Now, and that's the thing in terms of the mind of the heart. Now, one of the things I want to ask you, have you ever, and just to help you understand, have you ever felt invincible? Have you ever felt invincible? Like there was nothing you couldn't do. When was the last time you felt like a superhero? And that's in any situation that, you know what? This is who I am and I'm good at it. Mm. And no one can tell me I'm not good at it. I can't even tell myself I'm not good at it. And if I show myself that I'm not good at it, I get better because I love it. I know I'm good at it. I want to be better at it, and I'm going to fight to be better at it because I know I can do it. You know what I mean? And you might do it academically. I love math. So you study harder. Why? Because you know in your heart. You know, see, but you mean you could say you don't know. You know in your heart. Your heart thinks. It has a brain function. You know what I mean? It's a processing function. I know in my heart I'm good at math. I know in my heart who I can be. I know in my heart what I can achieve. That's when you feel super. That's when you're functioning from the mind of the heart, not the mind of the head. And being super doesn't mean you're going to fly somewhere. Now, you can have flight and never be in the air, right? That means you just, woo, he's soaring through what? Like if you somebody's playing, straight A's, you studying, you're soaring, you flight. It is who you are and what you do. It's a part of you. And so some of us, we have some kids who, without thinking or breathing, they know that I am a super intelligent being. I am that I am. And we talked about I am last week when we said, look in the mirror, because all you have to do is say, I am. When you're manifesting the best of the God in you, make a statement saying, I am. When was the last time that you felt super? That's when you're thinking from your heart. Maybe you run track, right? Maybe you run track and you sitting down and you got 1 through 8 right there, and you about to give it your best, and that's win or lose. But when you get on the line, you don't sit down and think, I'm gonna lose. I'm running to lose. No, I'm running to give it my best, and I know I can run. I'm giving it my best. Just because he wins doesn't mean that I'm not super at what I do. If that's the case, when Hussein Bolt was running, he wouldn't have nobody to run against. Everybody that got on that line felt that one of these days I'm gonna beat him, and some people did. He didn't win every race. He won key races, not every race, right? And you got the like the sisters now in the Olympics trying to beat Flojo. They don't get on the line thinking that, oh, I'm never going to beat the record. No, they get on that line being like, every time I run, it's an opportunity for God to work through me, and I'm can beat the record because I've trained, I've eaten, I've exercised, I've practiced, I've done everything that I know I can do to feel and be super in what I'm trying to do. Mm, right there, right there. Okay. And so that's when you know you're functioning from your heart. It's right here. I'm in my heart. Your heartbeat is on your thing. So I was touching my temple. So if you ever touch your temple, you could actually, if you ever go to the doctor and they put the thing right, well, you might be too young for them to take your heartbeat on your wrist. But they take my heartbeat on my wrist and they take it in my chest. They could do it. You could do it like under here on your neck. You can monitor your heartbeat. But it's there. It's there. So in your two minds, one mind is being used to gather information and to process the information, to think deep. The other one is used for the position of feeling powerful, to not just think deep, but to know who you are and whose you are. And that's clear. That's what we're here. That's what we're expecting. Who you are and whose you are. And that's what for us Christmas is about. Christmas is about the expectancy of your understanding in God until you get to a point where you feel super at all things that you do. You working inside your family, your mama says, "Hey, I need you to help me wash the dishes." Now, whether you like washing dishes or whether you good at washing dishes or whether you bad at washing dishes, what you good at is showing support to your family. Mm. Showing respect to your parents. Mm. It's not what you do, it's who you are with what you do. You feel super at being the best brother, whether you're the little brother or the big brother. It's you feeling super at you being the best cousin, whether it be the little cousin or the big cousin or close cousins or distant cousins. It's you feeling super at being the best son. And it don't matter what row of the sons, because you can have multiple brothers and everybody's a son to mom and dad, but you could be the best you that you could possibly be. You may not be better than that one at being him, but you're the best at being you. That's when you functioning from knowing who you are in your heart. It's a difference. Some people, and I remember having a conversation, and I think it was Yaya was saying after a while, he says, people do certain things, and you got to realize that this is not what you're called to do. That's an awareness, knowing where your talents are, your gifts are, your attributes are, and being able to sit down and say, okay, I'm still in my heart. I'm still functioning from my superpower, which is my awareness of the God in me. That's your superpower. I am aware of the God in me. What is your superpower? Say it. The awareness of the God in me. And what we're waiting for, the Christmas is about us expecting you to know that even more. And so when we talk about them giving you gifts, it's celebrating. It's them being godly within themselves and showing a gesture of love, and it's them celebrating the birth of the God in you. You are the answer. You're the hope that everybody prayed for. You're a help to different solutions. You know, one of my babies had a daughter, right? And they're up in, hey Bree, how you doing? And they're up in Covington, and our son, and I call him name Papa Die. You watch the brother love on the baby, and so you sit down and you see that, and you realize that when you have a uh, two siblings and they're coming together, right, for the first time, one thing that you watch is, so be careful, because you got to make sure that the older sibling, feels like or manifests that experience of love for the younger sibling. So you will see them always hugging and stroking and wanting to help with the baby and wanting not too many people to go next to the baby. It's just the way that is. Because in the heart, you become the experience of what God is in terms of the sharing of love. Yes. you become that experience. You become super in your ability to love somebody. That's why during this season you see a lot of love. That's what the lights are for. The lights are a reflection of who you are supposed to be in this world. Nothing but a light. And every time someone sees you coming, you're a light, maybe in darkness. And then not only are that you're a light, you're supposed to also see them as light. And if they don't see themselves as light, you're supposed to help them see themselves as light. The coming of the child of God. When we talk about it, and I'm not trying to push this off to anybody else but you. On Christmas morning, when we talk about going through the season of Advent with a sense of expectancy, and want, we are celebrating and we're bringing you gifts and presents, and we're sharing joy. We're playing music that lifts our spirits to make it happy. Why? Because we're truly happy. We're happy for you to get the experience where you can say in your heart that you are a child of God. And now that's something that I need you to say. Say, I am a child of God. Mm. When you see your mom, smile and say, you are a child of God. When y'all around your family, say, we are children of God. How much more powerful or successful or loving or caring could you be if you say, I am a child of God in your heart? How much more focused and dedicated to being the best you if you could say in your heart that I am a child of God. Saying those words, I am, enters into the realm of the creator. And within that realm of the creator, you're uttering to the words of the creator from your heart, I am a child of God. Then he knows, the creator knows that the essence of the creator knows that I can pour into you and watch you pour out to the world around you. That's why we're here. That's what we celebrate. That's what the festivities are about. You see more people helping each other. You see more people going the extra mile for each other. You see more people giving to each other. Why? Because they're saying to themselves, I am a child of God, so I extend myself. But you are a child of God, and your situation may not be as good as mine. So then I assist you on having the experience where you can say, I am a child of God also. That's what this is about. It's not pushing it off to anything else. It is the awareness of the God in you. How much more powerful could you be in your life to achieve the things you are called to achieve? And that's the thing. When you're called to achieve something, that comes out of your heart that you know God wants me to do this. And there's a period right there. Not when you think you need to do something. People do things when it's coming out of their mind and they become mediocre at it. But when you know you're called to do something, you excel at it. And if somebody says, hey, that could be better, you accept it as good criticism because they're trying to get you to what? Produce even more as a child of God. I know Ayan, when she was little, man, back when she was in the nursery, I used to ask her to do this. I had these concepts and these ideas to build World of Alkebulan back when Ayan was in the third grade, where it clicked, said, man, I could do this. Isaiah and Yaya, when I saw them, they were little, man, they were so midget. It was right after Ayan left, but I went back into the nursery and saw them two kids playing and said, I can build a world around them. Even though we had a Keeberland, but I'm like, and the world kept hitting me. I could build a world around them black children. I can show other black kids how to be the children of God. And I said, Ayan, come on, help me. Come on, let's do this idea. I got this idea and we can do this. And she said, Daddy, that's not what I want to do. How you know if you never tried it? She said, I know. I'm not supposed to be in front of the camera. I'm supposed to be behind it. When she knew, she said, I know I love math. Really? She said, so whatever I'm going to do is going to have something to do with math. Really? It was in her heart. Now she brought me a report card. She's second to her last semester, A's and B's down, as she fights her way back from COVID. Not COVID, but from lupus. She's her own testimony. I know I am a child of God, and there's nothing going to stop me from being the best me in the situation that I am. You have to be that way too. And so the coming of the co-creator is the coming of you. Right. Ooh. So how much more can you pray while before Christmas? Meditate, be nice, learn more about what's in your heart, and function from what's in your heart, being a child of God. And then the other part about that is once you realize that you are a child of God, I am a child of God. Woo. There's levels to this thing when you say I am a child of God. There are levels to spiritual awareness. There are levels to your relationship in God. There are levels to your relationship with each other. There are levels that continues not, and we say level up. No, we're going to level down. There are lower levels. There are deeper levels of the concept where we truly connect. Where, like said, the Messiah Jesus would say, the Father and I are one. And in our church, we say we're supported by infinite divine powers. We are a good representation of God's presence in the world. There are levels to understanding that you are a child of God. That is why we have a happy holiday. What? A happy holiday. Because woo, what else it is but joy when you find that out and you know it, and when you connect to other people that can say I am a child of God. Whoa, what can you create with that? What can you create when that vibrates in your heart, when your heart beats and the vibration of the creator is in you, and you understand that you are his and he is yours, and there's nothing that he won't provide for you to manifest the God in you, when you can always say that I am a child of God. That is why the holidays are so happy, because we can't wait for you to get that deeper awareness. We can't wait for you to see that who we are in our lives and share that with you. We can't wait to see other people walking down. Hey, happy holiday. Happy holiday. Hey, happy holidays. This is what it's about. The awareness of the God in you. And then when you get to that point, whoo, there's a shift. There becomes a shift. Because now when you understand that you are a child of God, there are things to do. When you understand that you are a child of God, there are things to do. And if you don't know what can be done, or you need to know what can be done, when you get that experience that you are a child of God, take a look at your history. Take a look at what your people created when they understood who they were in God. When it says, I knew you before I formed you in the womb, that we had conversations with God before we got here. And as younger kids, and the younger you are, the closer you are from that experience. Then the older you are, the closer you are to getting back to that experience. And in the middle, we are always seeking to hear the voice of God, and we create from that voice. And so that's what is important, to look at African history. And if you missed African history class this past Sunday, if you missed African spirituality class this past Saturday, Saturday, we got African history and African spirituality class. If you missed it, you need to make sure you join. Because in that, you get to understand and know what people did as being the people of God. You get to see the empires. You get to see that we created math, art, science, medicine, great empires, architecture, right? Chemistry, you name it. Philosophy. We were some of the richest individuals in the planet. And we still have, there's still a level of wealth that people say that, you know, Master Musa had, which is the one further across. He's in the Mali kingdom, unmatched. That's Kush up there, and we're going to be talking about Kush next Saturday. Nefertiti and Queen Nandi. What did our people create when we understood that we are children of God? What can you create according to what your people need when you say, I am a child of God? How much more will our celebration be amped when all of us realize that we are celebrating the coming of the God in us? When our awareness reaches a certain height and we're celebrating that, we get to a point where all across the globe, we see the experience of the rise of the African. Yes, we see the experience of the rise. And this is the first time I'm mentioning it on Alkebulan Sunday service, because this is what we talk about throughout the week. The rise of the African. I am not the only African. I Jade African, yes, because we need those individuals who are not scared to take over a slave ship and row us back to Africa. And we may not be physically going back, but we can build something that shows that we are God's people. I am a child of God. You are a child of God. And together we will rise. The rise of the African comes with that understanding. We will be able to sit down. And that's why I said this. If you look, it's a social media Pan-African movement. That is what the world of Alkebulan is. Connecting Black youth together so that they could understand that we are children of God and there are things that we have to create. Why? Because everybody before us did it. I'm a manifestation of everything. If you missed African spirituality class, you living in your sasa, your now. Right now is the most powerful moment you can have. So if you believe right now, that's all it takes right now, saying I am a child of God and surrendering to that understanding, and watch the African in you rise, the power of what God placed in you rise. Your awareness, you'll have dreams and you'll have a great imagination. You'll have skills, attributes. You'll have everything start coming out of you when you understand who you are in God. You see people doing great things in their life. Like, how did he do that? He understood what God placed in him and why God has him here, he or she. And they live from that place. You see the rise of the African. And you see that for us all over the world. But what we're hoping for now is the unification of the African. Woo! That's what World of Alkebulan is. The unification of conscious, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually Black youth. We're bringing, and let's get this, Nehemiah, youth ain't got nothing to do with an age. It's how we think. My understanding, I tell people now in certain classes, I'm not the expert. No, I'm just a Malakio. I'm just a seeker. I'm learning. And as I learn, I share. So I am still in my youth when it comes to my understanding of my relationship with God. I said, and I continue to grow within the youth because, I may be old, but I'm not old enough. And that's where I'm mastering. The rise of the African in me comes even more. I've been asked to do these things. I am called to create, to build. It's what it is. I am a child of God. And the more I surrender, the more I'm able to produce from that experience. And so I do these things. I do have friends in my community that says, how do you do all of this? I am a child of God. I can only do what God asked me to do. I can't be doing any more. So I do what God called me to do. Why? Because I am a child of God. And so I take these holidays serious. And I ask you to take the holidays serious because we want Alkebulan to rise. We have a saying, let Alkebulan rise and let the Black nation live. Meaning that The higher we get in our understanding that we are children of God, the higher we get, let Alkebulan rise. The higher we get in our understanding that we are the children of God, the other part is let the black nation live. We will be able to create a nation experience where wherever we go as black people, we family. We build together. We create together. We live as one. The Messiah said, the Father and I are one. We say the Father and us are one. We live as a people. We build as a people. We love as a people. That is worth celebrating. Mm, I like that. I like that. That is definitely worth a happy holiday experience. So when you sit down and you're running and you're looking at the trees and you're looking at the leaves and you're going all places and you're seeing people, don't forget that you can be a part of that too just by believing that I am a child of God and I'm here to celebrate the God in me and I'm watching you celebrate the God in you and we're going to share how we celebrate the God in each other. Mm. Why? Because that is what God has called us to do. Build from the experience that we are children of God and we deserve to live in a world that believes as we believe, that loves as we love, that creates as we create, and that builds as God calls us to build. That is kingdom building. That